welcome to Finance Conversations. This is Emerging Life and Money Show, and I am super excited to be here. Today is World AIDS Day. It is a somber time to think about the terrible effects that HIV/AIDS has had on people all over the world. And I will say that World AIDS Day is a time to remember those who have died from AIDS and a time to raise awareness of HIV/AIDS through education and public events. It is also a time for people to show their support for those around the world living with HIV and thriving. I will add that World AIDS Day is one of the 8 World Health Organization's Global Health Days. And since it started in 1988, more than 20 years ago, the world has, I would say, even turned around the spread of HIV. So according to the latest estimates from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 1.2 million people in the US have HIV, and about 13% of them do not even know that they have it and need to be tested. Additionally, HIV continues to have a disproportionate impact on certain populations, particularly racial and ethnic minorities, such as Blacks and Latinos. And the largest percent of HIV infection was attributed to heterosexual contact, about 83%. And lastly, Sub-Saharan Africa remains the part of the world mostly affected with nearly 1 in 25 adults, or 3.5% of the population, living with HIV and accounting for 2/3 of the people living with HIV worldwide. Welcome to the Emerging Life and Money Show. Today, I will be talking about proven strategies that can help you manage your holiday spending and save money while dealing with the current inflationary situation. But before I get into it, let me introduce myself. For those of you who do not know me, I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I help professional women transform their relationship with money. And how I do that, I give them the necessary financial skills and knowledge they need to take control of their money, manage their finances, and recognize that they can live their best lives with the money they have. Thank you for joining in today. So, as usual, if you are watching the replay, please type #replay in the chat and make sure to leave me some comments, and feel free to pose me any question that you may have. I'll be happy to get back to you. So I come to you live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to share tips, tools, I will say technique, inspiration, motivation, and to give you valuable information about how to achieve financial wellness and live your life with means and meaning. And for those of you who are following me, you will know that the Emerging Life and Money Show's primary purpose and my very strong why is to empower as many women as I possibly can by sharing what I know about money and finance so that they can live their greatest lives yet. So grab a pen and a notebook because you might want to take some notes, and I would say discuss them, share them, particularly now during the holiday season with family members, friends, co-workers, neighbors, because at the end of the day, it is about sharing values that could benefit others. So if you are listening on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, and any other major podcast platform, I welcome you. I am so glad that you are able to join in today. So let's get started. As I just mentioned, I will be talking about holiday spending strategies. And I will focus on 3 points. I like to focus on 3 points during the show. The benefits of proactively planning and managing holiday spending. I will also talk about strategies to manage holiday spending. And lastly, I will talk about the importance of understanding the impact of inflation, period. Okay? So let's give today's show some context. Christmas is fast approaching. Thanksgiving was last week. And I know that most of you have started your holiday shopping and that you took advantage and continue to take advantage of the many bargains floating around. Hopefully, you're armed with a spending plan. Because statistics show that in 2021, retail sales during the November-December holiday season grew by 14.1% over the same period in 2020, reaching well above the 800 million. This was a record, actually, last year, even though inflation, supply chain problem, and the then ongoing pandemic were problems. This year, consumers spent 35.4 billion online over the 5-day period, the busiest shopping weekends of the year, according to some data from Adobe Analytics. And even though we had inflation and recession, apparently were currently big worries. So my question for you today is, are you financially ready for the holiday season? I anticipate that most of you already did your holiday shopping, but I also know that many more of you tend to wait for the last minute bargains and the last minute shopping period. So while you're still busy shopping, I will caution you that there is such a thing as being too generous, especially during the holidays. Far too often, we spend money we don't have, buying gifts for people who don't need them, quite frankly, only to find ourselves faced with paying a ton of bills when the holidays are over. So the holidays are a time for joy and celebration, but they can also be a time of stress and anxiety, especially if you are trying to stick to a budget, right? And if you are worried about how you are going to afford all the gifts, the food, and travel this year, don't worry. I've got you covered. So let's move on to the first point of today's show, which is the benefits of proactively planning and managing your holiday spending. As I mentioned a few moments ago, the holidays are a time for celebrating with loved ones. It's a time for exchanging gifts and a time to enjoy spatial tradition. And as professional women, we all have a hectic lifestyle and personal goals that often leave little time or energy to plan and manage our finances. This is especially true during the holiday season, right? With all the shopping, all the parties, and entertainment that comes with the season, it is easy to get swept away by the spirit of giving and end up spending more than we intended. In fact, according to a recent survey, 42% of Americans say that they spend more than they can afford during the holidays. And 71% of people say they go into debt during the holidays. So this can lead to months of financial strain and can even ruin your credit score. But the truth is that proactively planning and managing your holiday spending is key to avoiding holiday debt. So here are a few benefits that, in my opinion, will help you to proactively plan and manage your holiday spending. One of the biggest benefits of proactive holiday spending planning is that it will help you reduce financial stress. It's easy to get carried away with the holidays, right? And end up spending more than you can afford. But with proactive planning and budgeting, you can ensure that you are spending within your means and not overextending yourselves. 2, another benefit of proactive holiday spending is that it can help you avoid overspending. By setting a realistic budget, you can be sure that you are not spending more than you can afford. This will also help you avoid being tempted to buy unnecessary or extravagant items. The third benefit of proactive holiday spending is that it can help you increase your savings. So by taking the time to plan ahead and budget for the season, you can ensure that you are setting aside money for the future instead of relying on credit cards for purchases. And the fourth one is that proactive holiday spending will help you improve your overall financial planning. So by setting aside an allotted amount for holiday spending and sticking to it, you will be able to better plan for future financial goals. Okay, so I will end this point by saying that these are just a few of the many benefits of proactively managing and planning your holiday spending. So this holiday season, make sure to set a budget, make sure to plan ahead, and make sure to keep your spending in check. You will be glad that you did. Now, let's look at the second point. Strategies to manage holiday spending. I will share 10 of those strategies with you today. And I tend to do that. I've been doing it for the past maybe 2 years. And they are: 1, remember you don't have to buy a present for everyone. Do not hesitate to cut down on the number of people on your gift list and make sure to assign a budget for each person that you plan to purchase a gift for. 2, plan your shopping and stick to your list. Do not make impulse purchases. I know it can be tempting, but you would be overspending if you did so. 3, do not dip into your emergency fund or take a payday loan to cover holiday expenses. This is costly. Do not worry about how much others are spending on gift. Just do what you can afford. 5, consider making gifts: cookies, jam, craft, pictures, and candles. They do make great gifts, by the way. Giving your time is also a great gift, as some relatives are really happy to receive a visit from you, and then you can shower them with lots of kisses and great big hugs as a gift. 6, volunteering is also a great gift if you can find the time to do so. 7, it's okay to say no to your kids if you cannot afford to buy them what they ask for. Remember that. 8, do not borrow to do your holiday shopping. By that I mean, do not use your credit card if you are not going to pay the balance in full right away. 9, do not shortchange your savings or go into debt. Trust me, it is more detrimental to your family than skipping a few presents. And 10, do not swap short-term pleasures for long-term pay off my credit card and that anxiety and you're around debt headaches. It is not worth it. Oh, I had 11. And my last one, give yourself a great gift, okay, which is a better spending habit. These are just a few tips that I wanted to share with you so that we can prevent a financial hangover when the holidays are over and done with. Now, let's look at the third point, which is understanding the impact of inflation. So during the holiday season, it is important to understand how inflation works. Well, it's important to understand it, period. But during this time of the year, many of you are looking for ways to make the most of your hard-earned money. Okay, you want to be sure that you are making the right financial decisions. Well, inflation is a key factor in determining the cost of goods and services. Okay, that's the way it goes. It is a rate at which the price of goods and services rises over time, and it is caused by a combination of factors, including the cost of energy, the cost of materials, and the cost of labor. So inflation can also be caused by a decrease in the value of currencies, for example. It could be caused by an increase in taxes or by a decrease in the amount of available goods and services. Also, I will add that there is such a thing as holiday inflation, and it refers to the period when inflationary pressures are at their highest. Okay, this typically occurs between October and December, when prices for holiday-related goods and services tend to rise more rapidly than at other times of the year. So during this time, consumers often face inflation challenges as they attempt to stretch their budgets to cover the increased cost of holiday purchases. And as we know, inflation has a direct impact on our ability to purchase goods and services. So as prices increase, our purchasing power decreases. This means that we are paying more for the same goods and services that we could have purchased for less money in the past. Therefore, understanding inflation is essential if we want to make the most of our money during the holiday season. Now, the first step to understanding inflation is to keep track of the rising prices, okay? And by keeping track of the prices of goods and services can help you keep your budget in check. You can track prices by looking at the CPI or the Consumer Price Index. It's available online. This index is calculated by taking the cost of a standard basket of goods and services and comparing it to the cost of the same basket in previous years. So the second step is to understanding inflation is to understand how it affects your finances. So inflation can reduce your ability to save money. Okay, reduce your ability to buy bigger ticket items or even pay your debts faster. It can also increase the amount of interest you pay on credit cards, loans, and mortgages. Finally, understanding inflation can help you make smarter purchasing decisions. So you can choose to purchase items when the prices are low or look for sales or discounts that can help you stretch your budget. So knowing what the cost of living is like in your area and understanding the effect of inflation can help you make the best decisions for your financial future. So I will end this third and final point for today's show by saying that understanding the impact of inflation, particularly during the holiday season, can help you make smarter financial decisions. Okay? And as professional, you owe it to yourself to stay informed of the rising cost of goods and services and make wise purchasing decisions that benefits your budget and your future. Yes, the rate of inflation is probably the highest that it has ever been in a long time. And yes, you are finding it difficult to cope with the ever increasing prices of everyday items. But it is a fact that this holiday season, inflation will pose a particular challenge for shoppers who are trying to stretch their budgets. Okay? So in order to make ends meet, many people will be forced to cut back on spending or go without some of their favorite holiday traditions. However, it is important to know that while inflation may cause some short-term pain, you must remember that it is a natural part of a healthy economy. So by understanding inflation and its impact on your holiday budget, you can take steps to ensure that you still have a happy and memorable season. So let's wrap it up. And summarize what I addressed today. I talked about how to manage your holiday spending and save money while dealing with the current inflationary situation. And I also focused on the following 3 points: the benefit of proactively planning and managing your holiday spending. I talked about strategies to manage holiday spending. And I also talked about the importance of understanding the impact of inflation on your money. And as I see it, these few strategies will help you to better manage your holiday spending while dealing with the current inflationary climate. So with effective budgeting, with careful spending choices, and wise use of cash back offers, you can save money while still enjoying the holidays. And as far as inflation is concerned, I will say that the best way to combat inflation during the holiday season is to plan ahead and start saving early for the season. So by setting aside money each month, you can build up a budget that will help you cover the increased costs of holiday gifts and travel. And by being mindful of inflationary pressures, you can make sure that your holiday season is merry and bright. And you could do that without breaking your budget. So, as you know, I like to end my show with a quote. And today, I chose a quote from Julianne O'Connor, and it reads, remember the reason for the season, okay? And so Julianne O'Connor is an award-winning author and a TEDx speaker. This brings us to the end of today's Merging Life and Money episode. I hope that you have enjoyed today's show, and I totally encourage you to watch the replay and make sure to share it with others. Okay? This is actually the season to give. So make sure to share. So for more information about how to achieve financial wellness from the inside out and live a purposeful life with the money you have, join me next week, Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Atlantic Time, and 10 a.m. Friday, Brisbane, Australia time. Thank you for being here today on the Merging Life and Money Show, and I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I will be back again next week. Until then, continue merging life and money. I do apologize for this late show today, but things happen. Life happens, as they say. So, bye for now.